I'm now back in the Republic of Ireland. Yes, for the first time since February last year when I went to Cork for the day. But I've got another hour left to go until I'm in Dublin. And it's taken me almost 10 years to come back to Dublin. I got no excuses. I was thinking of going to Dublin last year to see Shania Twain, but the cost of a hotel for a night wasn't worth it. So this is the first train station upon entering the Republic of Ireland. Dundalk Clark Station. Now when I was here in Ireland 10 years ago, I wasn't really vlogging much stuff. I made a short video at Phil Lynot's grave, and I went to this rock and roll museum of Ireland and got to record something in a studio that Phil Lynott recorded one of his last songs. But I always remembered how there was some sort of like river down the middle here of Dublin, and over there that's the famous customs house. You can see the harp, which is the national emblem of the Republic of Ireland. So I'm gonna hopefully, I think I'm getting either a bus or a tram that will take me to where Sinead O'Connor is buried. Just leaving behind Connolly Station. Yes. I don't even think I used the station when I came here 10 years ago. I remember when I came 10 years ago, I went to a station somewhere in Dublin, and I bought a return ticket to Belfast, but then it was going to be like a 2 or 3 hour wait for the next train, and I thought, just forget it. I just tossed away my ticket. It's a bit dumb. But yeah, I'm just in the heart now of Dublin. If I bought my LEAP card again after 10 years, I really should have held on to that one from all these years ago. So I need to get down to the southern part of Dublin where Sinead O'Connor is buried so I can visit her grave this afternoon. And then I'm in walking distance from where my Airbnb is located. I'm paying about £120 for 2 nights, staying with a lovely Indian family. And it was going to cost like £88 for a hostel. Now, when I stayed here 10 years ago, I think I only paid roughly €15 a night in the heart of Dublin. I was only here for 3 nights, and then I eventually went back to England to look for work in Birmingham. So yeah, I'm quite happy to be here. But the good thing is I got my special friends John and Kelly to visit. Now, I'm not much of a fan of Sinead O'Connor, but I do know a bit of her work, like off by heart. I never forget that her first album was nominated for a Grammy for Best Rock Female Solo Performance. And then she won a Grammy for Best Alternative Album in 1991, which beat out Kate Bush, because Kate Bush never also won a Grammy. But funny enough, Sinead O'Connor refused this Grammy because it was the title of the album, like, I do not want what I haven't got. And she was always really despising about like your awards ceremonies and all. But her biggest hit came from a cover of a Prince song, or written by Prince, Nothing Compares to You, which was originally performed by The Family. And then you remember what happened in 1992 on Saturday Night Live. Sinead O'Connor was performing that Bob Marley song War. She ripped up a photograph of the Pope that caused outrage, and this was before a time of cancel culture. Like, Sinead O'Connor weeks later was performing at a concert, and the audience booed at her. Frank Sinatra said he would kick her ass, even though there were some artists who were supportive of Sinead O'Connor. But I'll never forget this one incident after that Pope ripping crap, is that people steamrolled Sinead O'Connor's music in the streets of New York City, just like they did to when Milli Vanilli was found out that they weren't singing on their albums. Now, Milli Vanilli was a different case because they were basically just models lip-syncing to other people's music. Sinead O'Connor ripped up a photograph of the Pope, which caused outrage and pissed off a lot of Catholics, even though she's from a country with a majority of Catholics. Yeah, but Sinead O'Connor never really was able to obtain much popularity after that. I mean, she still kept on making music and music and music, and she get through phases of like saying, I'm going to retire, then I'm going to make new music. She became a Muslim at the later on part of her life, and sadly, she had a family tragedy of the suicide of her son, which happened a year or two before she passed away. Now, when Sinead O'Connor passed away in London less than 2 years ago, she just moved into a property in the south of London, and sadly she just died of like health-related issues related to the heart, and we were all saddened about her passing and all. A lot of us were very, moved at the amazing work she had created. I will never forget when I was like 30, I think I was like 35 at the time. I thought to myself, I'm going to listen to a Sinead O'Connor record, and I listened to the first album, and that one collaboration with Enya, where Enya was, doing a spoken word piece in Gaelic about the Psalms, at this passage in the Bible. I thought, man, this is earth-shattering music. Because Sinead O'Connor was not a pop star, okay? She was, she was a rock chick, okay? Because she shaved her head bald, she was a dyke, she wanted to be a priest. She never fit into the mold of what a pop star was. She worked with Peter Gabriel, but the weird thing was they were even in a relationship. And she went to the grave quite too young, and she's buried here in her hometown in Dublin. But the surprising thing is she's buried in a Christian cemetery, but she's got a Muslim tombstone, because in the Islamic faith, when a person dies, their tombstone is supposed to face Mecca. So this is quite strange, I guess. Some cemeteries in London, they're like multi-faith. You can have a Christian buried next to a Jew, or an atheist buried next to a Sikh, or a Hindu, even though Hindus and Sikhs are cremated. So I'm going to go find this tram and seek out to get to the cemetery. It closes at 4:30, which I've got time. I can easily find it. I've got a impact on maps, and find a grave has given me good directions. Now I've arrived at Dean's Grange Cemetery, and Sinead is buried just out the front. You can easily locate her grave on Google Maps. It's just right here. And surprisingly enough, even though she died as a Muslim, and we've got like some Arabic writing down there, she's actually buried in a Christian section. So she's buried here because I believe her mother was also buried in the cemetery as well. But her son, who tragically died 2 years prior to Sinead's passing, he's buried in a different cemetery somewhere else in Ireland. So I kind of feel a bit touched to be here. People have came, and even though Sinead died a Muslim, someone has left rosary beads, someone has left like Celtic objects and some Euro coins and stones, which leaving stones in a grave is a Jewish tradition. Crystals, So this is the legend itself, Sinead O'Connor. And this is the third Irish musician's grave I visited after Phil Lynott and Rory Gallagher. I was thinking of visiting the lady from the Cranberries, but she's buried in the south of Ireland, and I'm heading north tomorrow.